From the Grind Up with Jeff McClain. Real stories, real hustle, real success.
Welcome to From the Grind Up. In this show, we normally have guests that are high-profile business executives, people that have overcome some crazy things in their lives, and great stories of success. Today's guest is a little different. Not that he hasn't had success, but Cody James, who's on the show today, is he's in the grind part still, and he's had successes in his life in other avenues, but right now he's in the grind, looking for the up part. But his story is really unique and really inspiring for a lot of people, which is why we really wanted to get him on the show. So I'm glad he was able to be out here. And basically, a quick intro to him is he realized that he wasn't much of a threat in his life as a man. And again, on this show, I think we talk about how important that is, masculinity, being a threat, being a threat in order to protect, not in order to hurt someone. And again, he fit perfectly with our brand. And by doing that, he's put himself basically on Instagram in a very humble, very endearing way and laid himself out to the world to see what that process is like. And in that process has had millions and millions and millions of views, tens and tens of thousands of followers, which is growing every single day. And we're just really happy to have him out here. And so today I'd like to introduce Cody James.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. This week has been nothing easy. It's not an easy trip. My body hurts from the gym and then the rolling, so it's been awesome. But yeah, I know started this fitness journey on social media. Didn't think it would really go anywhere. I almost didn't even post the first video. I posted it, and then 2 hours later, I almost deleted it. I was like, I don't know if people are going to care. But I let it stay, and then I woke up, and I think I got like a few hundred followers from it, and then it just started to keep on going. So basically started this journey to become hard to kill so I could defend my family.
That's so simple yet so eloquent and so beautiful, frankly, at the same time, in an odd way. But a reason he's saying he's sore is a lot of times we'll have guests come out, maybe have lunch, maybe dinner, whatever, get them on the podcast and do our thing. But with Cody, we went a little deeper. We went a lot deeper.
Oh yeah,
and he's been out here for a couple of days already. Came out from Oklahoma to California, where our studio is, and in that time. We started off with some nice hefty cigars, which we'll I'm sure talk about a little bit later.
There's a lot to unpack there.
We had a nice cigar on the first night. Next day we went and did some shooting, did some sporting clays, which became a crack shot by the time we were done. I have to say he was doing a great job.
Come on.
And then we went and worked out, lifted some weights and whatnot, went and rolled Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I threw a gi on for the first time in quite some time, so I got to go out there and enjoy that with him, which was a lot of fun. And then he spent today with a trainer I know, doing, again, some more weightlifting. He did some boxing training, and then at the end got to do some recovery stuff, which I'm sure he'll talk about on some of his, not only today, but I'm sure on some of his stories and things coming forward, because a lot of people have really circled around him to, support his journey. Mm-hmm. So let me just start by, right from the beginning of how this started, like what is it that, what was it like when you realized you were not hard to kill?
Right. So, I've always not been a fan of my kind of like my physical state. I've started the gym a few times and whatnot, but it came to actually seeing a video that's been around for a while. But I saw the video now as a 26-year-old with two kids. I have a daughter and a son, and the video was a pedophile describing how he chose his victims. He was being interviewed about this and answering a bunch of questions. And when it came to how do you choose your victims, he says he looks at the father. And if the father is not a threat, then he'll probably go after that kid. I think a lot of people take that differently. Like some people take it as whether or not the father is present in their lives, which is something I'm obviously already doing. But I took a look in the mirror and realized I'm not a threat, like in any way physical. Like if you looked at me, it's just like I still have like the same physical demeanor as I did when I was in high school. If anything worse, because like my diet and everything has slipped since we had kids and all. So yeah, I started this journey thinking about it. It was only going to be a fitness journey. Like I was getting like gym equipment and I was just going to get shredded. But then everybody got me into combat sports. I attended Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then that was very humbling because I got put in an arm bar by an 11-year-old, and then that's when I was like, I'm not hard to kill at all. So right. It's a long journey. So we locked in and we just kept it up. We're on day 98 now. So
Yeah, nice. I've seen some stuff you posted recently. I'm looking. It's kind of timed really well. I think you can wrap all this into that day 99, day 100 kind of check-in point. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing what you do there.
Of course, yeah.
And I don't think that the situation you're in is unique. You know, and we're definitely going to unpack some of that as we get into this for sure. But one question I would ask, kind of leading into that, is how do you think you ended up in that place? You know what? I'm sorry. Before you answer that, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to rephrase it, but I want to lead into it. First of all, I have nothing but respect for the humility that it takes for a man. You're still a man, right?
Yes, sir.
To put yourself out there in that light, right? I think most men are probably not hard to kill.
Yes, sir.
If we're all being honest, right? But most men would not put themselves for the world to see and say, this is the truth, right? Yeah. Anytime you're on social media, everybody's wants to look smarter, richer, bigger, stronger, more competent than they really are. That's the thing. And I think that's what's made your journey and your feed, your things that you put out there so frankly enjoyable. And what attracted me to it just popped up on mine. And I was like, whoa, this young man is like being real. And I definitely respect that. And I'm sure it's humbling on a daily basis to kind of remind yourself of that. But I will say the one thing is you're not staying there.
Right.
And that's the part, you know, whether it's a year, 10 years, whatever it is from now, you're going to look back and go, yeah, I admit it. I wasn't the best version of myself at a certain time, but now you're still never, you'll find out, and you probably already have, that you're never going to get there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Whatever there is, right?
Yeah.
But it's a constant journey, a constant reinvention.
Better than yourself yesterday.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's cliche, but it's the truth.
Right.
But let me ask you this, back to the same question I asked you, like how did this happen? You know, how do you think you ended up, you know, waking up one day, 26 years old, and looking in the mirror and going, this is not what I thought I was going to be as a grown man, husband, and father. Yeah.
I mean, the lifestyle creeps up on you. I don't really have a lot of people around me that would push me to be the better person. Like, matter of fact, like I think if I think of the people that are around me, like it's just like some people are just comfortable with where they're at. So I just one day, like I started to meet some people, especially through this, like that this is like, I started the journey. And honestly, what's kept me through it is like some of the people that I'm meeting through the journey and I'm seeing through the journey. It just ended up kind of solidifying it for me. It's like I'm meeting people that are better than me. Like you're a developed business leader. I consider myself an entrepreneur myself, and you're like ahead of me where I want to be. So it's like, to me, I feel like it's just connecting all these things in my brain where it's like, I can't stop this. Like where I'm from, like people think I'm delusional. Like it's just, that's just how it is. But in a room like this, it's like, you don't think I'm delusional. It's like, it's just, it's like, so I think it really just a majority of society is just in this weird passive state. Nobody's forcing anybody to wake up at 4 a.m. Nobody's asking you to do it. And when you become an adult, there's no like master class. You know, like I graduated high school and it was like, what now? And nobody's telling me to do anything. So that combined with this weird state that we're in where like video games are being designed to be addicting and to keep you on longer, and social media is being designed to be addicting, and everybody's fighting for your attention. That combined with also nobody telling you to be productive with your life, and you only have one life and you need to be delusional about pursuing something. Nobody's telling you any of this. Like it's like, it has to be you that does it. So really it just ended up being a result of like, I was just passive. Like nobody was telling me to do anything. I was passive. It does creep up on you. Like I say in my videos that my body got to the point where I looked like that alien from Men in Black, the one with the coffee. So
to be honest, that was the first video I saw of yours.
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, follow.
Yes, sir.
I got to watch this guy and see what he's about. Because again, it's so humbling and so just real to acknowledge that.
Yeah, and it creeped up on me. Like it just like you don't I've always been skinny, but I've never had like visceral fat problem until eventually, it just started just creep up on you.
And I think that happens to everybody around the age you're at, or it can. Let me rephrase that. It can happen to everybody because when you're young, when you're high school, whatever, you can stay up all night and eat crap and play video games and nothing changes. When you hit that early 20s to mid 20s, whatever, and your body starts to change a little bit, starts to digest different, process fats differently, and things just start to to stack up. And if you don't acknowledge that, and to your point, if there's not a system around you or people around you, and we talked about that a lot since you've been out here, of how important that is, that friend group, family group, whatever it is, to sit back and go, okay, if we're on the same road and we're all heading in the same direction, we're all going to end up at the same place. So I either got to get out of this bus and make my own path, or I literally will be where they are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So how did, I asked how this happened, right? And it's a great answer, complacency, comfort,
Right.
Life. I think your generation, every generation is probably softer, since World War II.
Yeah.
Really,
right.
how did when you were a kid, were you it started then, I'm assuming, you mentioned video games. Was that, and I know like my generation, there were some video games, it was like, oh, this is cool, whatever this is going to be. But it wasn't a thing like that we were obsessed with. And then every generation just becomes more and more and more engulfed in that.
Right.
But like growing up was, what were your influences growing up? I mean, you lived in, I think you said Texas at one point.
Yes,
and so, give me a day or a week in the life, if you don't mind, with your father, your mother, like what was that environment like?
Sure. So my mom and my dad, they divorced when I was like 2 years old. So my dad was in the military. He was moving around for a bit. So I lived with my mom. And there was kind of a switch like in high school where she was working a lot overnight. So I would like not even see her for like sometimes weeks at a time when I was in high school. Now, granted, I stayed out of trouble. I rather than like using that to go party or have sex and like do all these crazy things, I just resorted to video games. Me and your son actually talked about this. We were talking about when Fortnite came out, and he said it was a problem for him too, because like it was like a game that was I personally think is like designed to get you one more game, and I think we talked about like I have like 100 days in that game. So and again, this is high school. Nobody's asking anything of me. I get home. I think my senior year, like I would get off at 11:30, because we did like senior release. So I'd go home at 11:30. I'd sleep from like 1 to like probably 6 p.m. And then from like 6 p.m. all the way until school the next day, I'd be playing Fortnite. Like that was.
So you were living with your mom and really see this all just plays right into everything that I stand for and every show we've ever had and the things that I always seem to bring up. And you brought up, my son got kind of pulled into that. For about 5 minutes.
Yeah. He said, my dad said, hey, you're going to be playing that. And then eventually he was like, felt convicted by it and then sold it. So
correct.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, would you say that was I will say that that's the missing ingredient. There's a lot of single mothers are trying to raise young men. And even if your mom had the best of intentions, she has literally no idea what it takes to be a man.
Exactly.
She wants you to be comfortable. She wants you to be happy. She wants you to have food in your tummy, right? That's what moms do. So, a young man without, a silverback old man saying, that's not how we roll.
Right.
That's a natural occurrence. And you see it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess that would that be a fair assumption of kind of the environment that you were in? It's like, no one was making me do these things. I mean, that routine is crazy to me, but it's probably very common.
Oh yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's kind of this thing. Like I think when you're developing in high school, like that's kind of, we talked about this a little bit. It's like you have coaches that will help you kind of understand dopamine and where you get your dopamine from. For me, I wasn't in sports. Like I just did classes. And then it came down to video games that were just designed to be like dopamine overload. So yeah, it was really easy to get addicted to video games. And then I had friends that were also addicted to video games. So it just ended up being kind of a circle that supported this crazy addiction. And then some of them have the same amount of hours I do, if not more. So that's just like who you surround yourself with.
And of that circle of friends that you grew up with, because we talk about this all the time too.
Yeah.
If you have 5 friends that are gamers, you're going to be the 6th, right? If you have 5 friends that are hardcore, disciplined, fill in the blank, you're likely going to be the 6th.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, though that group of friends, whether it's 5 or 50, how many of them are still, dealing with that and underdeveloped, if you will, in society?
I'd say honestly, most of them, and like I love them. Like they're still, yeah. Like they, I think it's just to me, like when you say underdeveloped in society, my brain goes to like they're not ruthlessly pursuing like financial freedom or like they're accepting the idea of working a 9 to 5 for the rest of their life if it means they get to play video games in the evening. So, and it's something I still struggle with. Like I told you, like even recently, like video games kind of creeped up back into my life just because I had the ability to do it and I got invited. And then all of a sudden I found myself playing more than I should. So therefore I'm selling my PC. It's going to look delusional on my part, but it's just like, I can't have that. I can't like with the goals that I have and it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Yeah.
And it's, if you think that crack cocaine and video games are any different, you're delusional, right? And the difference is the video game market has billions of dollars to invest in R&D to make sure they keep their people hooked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no chemical to do it, but mentally it's potentially probably more addictive because it controls your thoughts. So it's like if you have a crack problem, you probably shouldn't have a crack pipe in the closet. Yeah. And going, that's over there, I won't do it. Right. That's to your point. So a lot of people have to do exactly that and just sell their stuff, and just not even have it in the house. Yeah. And when I say underdeveloped, I'm a firm believer that your 20s are that sweet spot.
It's the make or break it. That's how I see it.
Talk to guys like in my age group who have really built anything, and more than likely they were killers in their 20s. Yeah. They were first guy up, working, trying stuff, different job. It wasn't always glorious. In fact, it was never glorious. Yeah. It was the hard stuff that nobody wants to do.
It's the time to make all the mistakes too.
Correct. Right.
But it's hard to get those mistakes over with if you're in front of a screen all the time. So.
Right. So so then what happens, a lot of that age group, a lot of your age group starts figuring it out later into their 20s and into their 30s. So now they're trying life, really giving a shot at 30 or in their 30s, when the few percentage of people that actually go after it when they're young are going to be way ahead of them. Right. And hey, it's better late than never. You're no spring chicken. You're a young guy, but it's better to do it at 26 than at 36.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's by no means too late, obviously. Right. But this is something I'll move on because I'll spend the entire show talking about this because I'm so passionate about it, and so many of the young men that I help and I coach and stuff have the same problems, and it angers me of how powerful that has become, with our young men. And just, it makes you think of that, the greatest generation, the World War II guys, like at, 18, we're fighting Germans and, changing the course of history.
Enlisting into the war.
Lying about their age so they could go and defend their country.
It would not happen today.
No, absolutely not. And that's terrifying, frankly, Fortunately, it's not just a U.S. thing because, it makes me go, oh my gosh, we're a bunch of weaklings, but so are a lot of other countries, unfortunately for society. Now, I will say this: those of us and those of you that don't fall into that, it's easy pickings, right? Whether it be money, whether it be careers, whether it be women, whether it be whatever that is, all you got to do is be a little bit different, right? And I know you're married and you're settled, but and people in your age group who are like, man, I can't get a date. I'm on this video game all night, and for some reason, my dream girl doesn't knock on the door. It's like, well, dude, you got to become the thing that attracts that.
Go get them. Yeah.
But anyways, I will digress because we'll spend the whole day talking about that. But so it's been like we talked about earlier. It's been 97 days since you started. Tell us a little bit about that journey. And I've watched most of your posts and things, and there's been good days. There's been bad days. There's been good weeks, bad weeks. Walk me through some of that.
Yeah, it's been hard because there's you sort of James Clear Atomic Habits says you don't fall to the level of your goals, or you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And I've known that quote for so long, but this is now I'm learning that. I've had to basically overhaul all my habits. They also say usually when you're adjusting your habits, do one at a time, so it's not too hard. This journey demanded everything. So it was start going to the gym, start waking up early. Oh, now we want to do combat sports. We also got to start shooting, so that way we're proficient with firearms. So it was a bit overwhelming at first, but I think because of the people that were there's a lot of people that are saying dude, for example, like there's one guy that was like, I've been so afraid of Brazilian jiu-jitsu because I'm an older guy. But I saw your video where you got put in an armbar by an 11-year-old, and I joined my jiu-jitsu class because like there's nothing more embarrassing than that.
Mm-hmm.
So really it's been hard, but it's been easy to continue knowing that it's positively affecting the lives of others. I'm thinking of like other people's kids, like the fact that they get to see their dads. A lot of them like have kids my age, which is like 3 and coming up on 3 and 1. The fact that their kids get to see their dads, and hopefully like throughout the prime of their life, growing up through high school and everything, their dads are going to be in the pristine state, assuming they stick along with it. So, super difficult. It's super difficult, but also very rewarding and very, it's easy for me to like kind of get out of that mind space of like, this sucks, and get into the mind space of like, this is actually doing something. So.
And I will say this, like if you, which I did today before the show, if you look at like one of your first posts, and from the beginning you spoke well, you were you know how to talk to a camera, and however there is a difference that you can tell in your confidence.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just in the 97 days of this is me, this is what I'm going to do. You were confidently stating it, but now you seem to be more of a confident man in general.
I feel a lot more confident because it's like I'm doing hard things every day. So like when I arrive to a situation that like used to stress me out, I'm like, this is not stressful compared to how Brazilian jiu-jitsu was yesterday.
Right.
So it's like now like everything at work is easier. Because I'm making more time and I'm waking up early. Like I was I was struggling with being late to work. I was struggling with getting up early, but it's like, because I'm adding a lot of hard things and hard disciplines to my life, like it's like those things aren't hard anymore. Waking up, I still struggle with because like my body hurts a lot, but that's just part of it. So,
but like we talked about that a little bit too. But when you make a commitment to yourself that I didn't say I was going to want to get up tomorrow morning. I said I was going to get up tomorrow morning. There's a big difference.
Binary. It's like I am getting up.
Exactly.
It's just going to suck.
Yeah. That's I think once you can control and let's talk about that too. Control your mind because your body is capable of so much more than I think most people think. It's the mind that's typically weak. It's like, well, it's hot outside, I think I'll skip. It's cold outside, I think I'll skip. I'm tired, I think I'll skip. Yeah. And your mind is real quick to help you justify all the reasons not to do a certain thing. And once you acknowledge that and realize, and I was at I've been to a number of Tony Robbins things, but like every day, and I have a cold plunge in my home, and lots of people are into cold plunging and doing all these things, and that's great, but like Tony Robbins was talking about that for decades, right? Where he would get up no matter what every single day and walk straight out to a cold plunge, and he had one custom built in his house, and just jump in the ice cold freaking water right off the bat. And medical benefits, physical benefits, maybe, probably. Yeah. The mental benefit of that,
eating the frog,
is like you work for me, body.
Yeah. You
do what you're told, body,
and then everything for the rest of that day is easy.
Right.
Like that's how it is. I even like going back to the video games thing. This was like live, like before my very eyes. Like post, I told you, I got a PC because I'm like thinking, I want to live stream my workouts, bring another funnel of content. But it opened a gate because I had a PC that was capable of doing it to the video games. And so I started to play just casually, and then at some point, like it was like to the point where like even my wife was like, shouldn't you like maybe record a video? Like shouldn't you do this? And then I started to realize like before my very eyes, the dopamine that the video game gives me was ruining the dopamine that I was getting from working out. So when I thought about working out, like it literally, I had to drag myself through the workout, and it became like almost like a depressive episode. And it wasn't until I kind of took back the video games again that everything was just like, I'm showing up. Like that's it. Right. So it's
and anything you state that you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I know you're a very faithful young man. So like anything you state publicly that is good that you're going to do, God's not the only one listening.
Right.
And you know that.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what that is. It's like, we're going to get you off track.
Yep.
You're not going to do what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to inspire other people. You're not going to better society. That's just that writing is so on the wall.
Yep.
So you mentioned your wife. How's that been? How clearly she's been supportive, or you wouldn't be able to accomplish what you're accomplishing now. But here you are out in California, a couple thousand miles away from home.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what this journey is bringing to you. I know you've been to Iowa on another show. You've done many things.
Right.
So, how is that, the support level, how's that been? How has there been some struggles with like, hey, honey?
Yeah, right.
And it's okay. I assume there has been,
So luckily travel's not new to us. Like one of my first like corporate jobs, I traveled like 75%. So it was kind of like this was already a language that we spoke, and now I don't travel at all. So outside of the content. So it was kind of like it wasn't unfamiliar. It wasn't very surprising. She's very supportive. Like number one, I'm getting shredded. So I like the idea of like getting hotter for your spouse. Like,
totally,
it's just such a cool thing to think about.
Is she noticing?
Yeah.
When you step out of the shower, kind of stuff.
Yeah. And even I'm like, are my
baby.
shoulders broad? Somebody said my shoulders were broader. Like what do you think? So
that's awesome.
So she's noticing, and so she's very supportive, and it's even like leaking into because you become a father, you become a leader no matter what. So it's leaking into other parts of the house. Like she's starting to work out a little bit. She's a stay-at-home mom, so it's kind of hard to find time. Usually in the evening, she's like drained from the kids all day, or still trying to fight, the kids to get them to sleep. So, but she's starting to like introduce some of those disciplines, eating better. So I think overall it's just been well received just by everybody.
Right, and to what you just brought up, as whether it's a business leader, a community leader, or a leader of your house, you're a leader. And when you lead by example, that has the best effect on the people around you.
Right.
And that you answered a question I was just going to ask, because it's like, if you're doing that and you're becoming a better version of yourself on a daily basis, there's no way it doesn't inspire the people around you to do the same.
Right.
Some people may go, well, he's just this, or he's cool. When they start seeing results, they're like, oh crap, and frankly, even for your wife, it's like, she's going to want to keep up.
Yeah.
Right. She's going to want, you're going to be hotter.
Yeah.
So she's going to want to be hotter.
Yeah.
What a great deal.
Right. I know.
What a win-win.
Right? Yeah.
If that's not worth the work alone,
I know,
right?
Yeah. I told her she should start like the girls version of my page.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah. I mean,
we'll
it may work.
We'll see.
That's a good idea. So in the time that you've been here, so we've, like I mentioned earlier in the show, we started off smoking a nice cigar, which I was going to go through all the things, but we can stop on that if you like.
Yeah, let's do it.
I say nice cigar because I enjoyed it.
I think it was a nice cigar. It was the after effects of it. I don't know. I will say I like, in my defense, I definitely had 200 milligrams of caffeine. I cranked 200 milligrams of caffeine like on the way.
Yep.
To that, and then I had a cigar with you, and then it was I saw you guys were already almost through yours. I was like, well, I don't want them waiting on me, so I started like you going as fast as I could to kind of keep up.
Right.
And it didn't hit me, but then like we finally were like, all right, yeah, well let's get you back to the hotel, and I like stood up, and I was like, oh gosh, yeah, and then we were driving home, and I had the window open. You would have thought I was delivering a baby the way I was
breathing and sweating, and
I had the water bottle on my neck.
You did.
And you live in the hills, so you're like going over the turns, and you're like, do we need to pull over? And I was like, no, yes, please. So we pulled over and everything. It was fun.
It was, and I felt terrible, obviously.
I thought it was hilarious. I wish I would have vlogged it. Like, I wish I would have got it more.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, it's, and not that smoking a cigar makes you masculine or makes you a man, but it's just what we happen to do and what we happen to enjoy.
It was an awesome conversation. It made me, we said, like, I want to do this at home.
Correct. And I think you took some pictures of it for your friends at home.
People aren't going to believe me, so I had to get some documentation.
Right. So that's how we started the trip. I was like, okay, this ought to be fun. This was hour 4 as soon as you landed here in California.
I'm like on the curb.
Then so the next morning we get up and we go shoot, we go do some sporting clays. I know you learned a little bit of tactical stuff prior, so we took a different approach and went and just did some sport gun shooting, sporting clays, and that was a lot of fun, actually. I've done it for my whole life, but I haven't done it in several months. So it was nice to get out there and do that as well. But even that, the change from the first few stations in yourself, missing, trying to figure it out, whatever. Yeah. But once you kind of got locked in,
it's like,
it was like,
that's just how I am. I like it's like I can get good at this, and then it's like you would see me like we'd be at the station, and I would go like I'd say one more time. And then like I'd miss one. I'd be like, one more time. Yeah. Man, I
was just watching the shells just get burned up. It's like, nope, I'm going again. I'm going again.
Yeah, I needed it. Yeah.
But you did, and you got arguably proficient in that.
And
fun. That was a matter of a couple hours. So obviously it wasn't it's not these huge life lessons,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time it is,
Right.
you started doing it, you weren't great at it, took some pointers, worked on it a little bit more. And it was like, once it started clicking, it's like,
Yeah.
and now, like you were mentioning, when you get home, you're going to be looking for places to do
Yeah,
that.
I'm
and,
like, how do I do this at home? Like, I really want to do that, and it makes me want to go hunting. I can imagine like the exhilaration just from clay shooting was great. I can imagine like it actually bringing home food would be pretty nuts too.
Yeah,
So
it is, and I think when you go down this path, all of those things are going to be presented to you, and you don't have to smoke cigars to be masculine. You don't have to hunt to be masculine, but historically and by society's standards, those are both masculine things, and on this journey, it's like, I would encourage you just do them all,
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And, what a point I was going to make earlier too, before we got into that was, when you talked about how it kind of spills into other aspects of your life, just the new approach in which you attack things. And it's a quote you've probably heard. It's how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you haven't,
oh yeah, I like it. That's my first time hearing it.
And I use that. I tell myself that all the time. And if I slip on something, my wife reminds me that I say that to other people all the time. Yeah. We live here in California, so you got to enjoy some of our traffic. And I pride myself on being very stoic, very under control of myself, and that's how I am. Sit me in traffic for a couple hours, and I start to morph. Yeah. And my wife will be the first one to say, "Oh, how you do anything is how you do everything, honey." And it's like, "Ooh, you got me.
Right.
You're right. This is."
Hey, I'd be in trouble if I had your truck. I'd be running over these cars. Yeah.
Right. But when you approach things, from even your work situation, it's like when you do things that are hard, everything else just becomes normal.
Yeah.
And when you tell your body, you tell your mind, you tell your soul that you're competent, you're capable, and there's really nothing out there that you can't do. If you keep up on this journey, let me rephrase that. As you continue keeping up with this journey, because I believe you will,
yes, sir,
there'll be a day when you look in the mirror and you're jacked.
Right.
There'll be a day where you're 40 pounds more than you are. There'll be a day when you're jacked. There'll be a day when you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
And you'll still be you, but you'll be unrecognizable mentally and physically.
That's the goal, yep.
Right?
Yep.
To your point, like you started this as a physical journey because that's low-hanging fruit. Like, oh, look at me.
Yeah.
Right? But even by doing that, I think you're starting to realize some of the holes in the mental part. Would that be fair?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I like it's all. I started reading all the self-help books. Like we talked about Atomic Habits and Dale Carnegie's books, and I've read these for a long time, and I had like this library of quotes in my head, but none of them started to stick until this journey. I thought about the systems, and just like they all started coming back to me as I'm like really struggling to keep going in some of the senses. And again, most of it got hard whenever I allowed like fake dopamine in my life. Then I think that's kind of where I started to had to be convicted by some of those things. But yeah,
cheap dopamine,
dopamine, yeah,
not fake dopamine. It's real.
It's real. It's
very
real. Cheap dopamine. Yeah. That's the better way to put it. But,
right, but it's not. When it's earned.
Yeah.
Dopamine when you work out and you put in all the hard work all week and you get out of the shower and your wife goes, "Ooh."
Yeah,
that's the real.
That's the real. Yeah, it's like if I'm doing something hard at work and I'm thinking about, like, I can't wait to get home and play a video game. Like something's wrong at that point. Like that's something's wrong. Like, and you need to fix that. So
yeah. So obviously, I'm just kind of going through all the activities, if you will, that we did, which again we had a great time doing. We went and shot, then we went and lifted at the gym. You worked out with my son and I. Went and did jiu-jitsu. Like I said earlier, I threw a gi on for the first time in quite some time, and had a great time. It's a love I've had for most of my adult life. Right. But some injuries I haven't been doing it like I wish I could. But it was great to get out and do it again. How was all that? And just kind of starting through it, just going to the gym because you normally work out by yourself.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So being able to work out with guys. I've been working out for 25 years. Right. With experienced guys that are arguably bigger, stronger, whatever. Right. Do you feel like that helped you motivate you, helped encourage you? Like, yeah. What's that like? Even on this trip, like the bar that we were using was different than mine. So I had my placement was weird. Like I was using the placement strategy of my hands based on how I did the Ohio bar at my house. Here, and I didn't really recognize it, but you saw like that my form was a little off. And then after that, my workout started to feel a lot more intense, because we were benching, and I started to really feel in my chest. So like
that would not have happened if I would have just been by myself. Like if I just, if you guys weren't interested in going to the gym and I was like, well, I got to go somewhere. So I go grab a day pass over at where we went, So yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. And then also like you guys pushed me, and then I'm able to go to failure because you can help
Right.
spot me from there. So
Yeah, it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to go to the gym.
Right.
It takes, honestly, arguably, even more discipline to work out at home by yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So kudos for that. Yeah. And I think over time that this will evolve into you going to a gym, finding some gym friends. We talked about that, how important it is going to be to surround yourself with people like that. And to your point earlier, all of your circle, and we've talked about this, you and I just driving around, your circle will likely evolve completely. And again, it doesn't mean that the people that are in your circle now or have been in your circle forever, you don't love them, doesn't mean you don't want what's best for them.
Yeah.
But if they're headed down a highway in a direction that you don't want to go, good for you guys, no hard feelings.
Exactly,
I want to be something else. And I think so many people are so weak that they just go, well, this is where everybody's going. I guess I'm going there too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've made some great friends who like I have great business. Like we talk about business all the time, and they're like going through crazy fitness journeys. I don't have them like there physically. I live in a small town, so there's like I'd be surprised if there's any other business minded 26-year-old fathers in my town. So
yeah. Let me tell you, I don't care how big the city is.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
Yeah. No,
I have very few friends.
Right.
I have lots of acquaintances, but I have very few friends.
Yeah.
And because once you chisel away all of that societal norms and you find the primitive version of yourself and you go, this is the guy I want to be.
Right.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's no one else around.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but yes, finding that, getting that camaraderie, and whether that's fitness, we keep talking about fitness because that's kind of what your journey was about. And it's not like I'm some freaking fitness model. I work out, I do hard stuff. I'm pushing 50 years old, but it all ties into everything. And whether it's business, mindset, all of those things. What you said earlier, you're surrounding yourself with people that are better than you.
Yeah.
And I think most people avoid that because it doesn't necessarily make you feel good about yourself in the moment. Go to the gym with guys that are stronger than you. Wait a minute. So then I get to be like the weak guy all the time?
Everybody unload your plates so I can get my
right.
Yeah.
Which we did, right?
Yeah, we did.
And I'm sure that was humbling,
No, I'm already past
but that's your thing, right? Right.
Yeah.
But and that's the point. I think most people won't do that. And I have tons of people I invite to go to the gym and they're like, I don't want to be humbled.
Right.
And believe me, I want to work out with guys that are bigger, stronger than me for the same exact reason. And same with business. I want to be around guys who are far ahead of me in business, who have created things that I've never even dreamed of creating.
Yeah.
Who, in relationships, I want to be around couples that are just like rock solid.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that so many people avoid.
Yeah.
And people like to surround themselves with people that are weaker than them, broker than them.
Right. Yeah. It just
it makes
them feel better.
Right. That's that cheap
themselves,
dopamine you're talking about. It's a whole other level of it.
Yeah. And there's like a good thing too about we talked about just now that it's hard to find those friends, but also at the same time, it's like what a good opportunity it is to really iron out your beliefs and figure out exactly, the disciplines you need. I think that loneliness for a second is not a bad thing. Like I'm loving it. Like I like working out alone because I'll just like put on some music and I'll just like I'll go until failure still. Like I know when I can't do another rep. And I think those moments are great. I think it's going to set me up for when I do find finally like other people who are in the same position and are trying to be delusional about things. I believe they're going to be in the same position where they've been lonely and they've had to actually build those disciplines by themselves, and then it just becomes easier and more fruitful friendship. So
but they're going to be very particular too.
Yeah.
Right. So me and my quotes, Robert Kiyosaki quote, and he was applying it to business, but I think in relationships it's the same thing. And there's signs in my office of these 3 words all over the place, and that's be, do, have. And if you want to have friends like that,
right,
then first you have to be one of them.
Yeah.
You have to do what they do.
Right.
And then you'll have friends like that, right?
I like that, yeah.
I think a lot of people do that backwards. They're like, well, if I can meet some, you know,
If I can have
elite
that, I'll
fitness
become
guy.
that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. If I can meet some fitness guy and he just wants to, for some reason, be around me,
Yeah.
even though we don't look the same, we don't talk the same, we don't eat the same, we don't have the same goals,
Right,
visions,
right. Yeah.
he's just going to want to like bring me into his circle, then I'll become him. And it's like, that never happens.
Yep.
You have to make that path on your own.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly start to find like-minded people. But again, and anything in life, whether it's business, relationships, fitness, the higher, you know, the further you get to the top,
Right.
the smaller that group becomes.
Yeah.
Those
No,
options become.
It's so true.
You know, and so it's much easier to stay with everybody else, you know. And hopefully this will be my last analogy, though I doubt it because I'm cursed,
I'm
I'm
loving it,
cursed
yeah.
with it. But we talked about the crabs in the bucket
Yes,
the
sir,
other
yeah.
night, and it really goes to that thing. And that story is, you know, a couple's walking on the pier. There's an old man fishing with a bucket full of crabs, and one of the crabs is near the top of the bucket, and the guy looks over, "Hey, sir, your bait, your crab's about to jump out." And the guy's fishing. He just doesn't seem to care. And the guy's like, "Sir, it's going to jump out." And he goes, "He's not going anywhere." And right about then, all the other crabs in the bucket kind of stack up on each other, and they grab the one crab by his feet and yank him back in the bucket.
Yep.
And that's family
Yeah.
in a nutshell.
Right.
That's your inner circle of friends in a nutshell.
Mhm.
And I tell myself, I mean, I relive that constantly.
Yeah.
And I have my whole life, you know, and this will be the beginning of that for you too.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Again, it doesn't mean your family doesn't love you. They don't want you to not be with
Yeah.
them.
It's just, I am going to meet resistance. Like
We don't want you to make a bunch of money and move out of town.
Yeah.
We don't want you to, you know, skip out on going to Baskin Robbins on
Right.
Sunday night because you're on a different journey.
And it's funny because they don't even realize it's like they don't realize that they're being resistant, but they're like trying to, like, it's like there's a discomfort with the fact that I'm distancing myself, but I'm not distancing myself from them. I'm just getting closer to what my goals are, and it just so happens to be further from some of these people.
And the funny thing is, they're all welcome to join you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I hope they do.
Right.
Like I like, again, like it just kind of comes to some people think I'm delusional, but
Yeah. So here's an interesting one. I've brought it up to you a couple times, but this may poke a nerve a little bit with you, but I'm going to do it anyways.
do it. Yeah.
How are you? I talked to you a little bit about owning your vices versus not owning them. You know, and I think, you know, I think you mentioned to me you take like a medication at night to sleep,
Yes,
and
sir,
some
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that from whatever reason, right? And that through your life you were diagnosed with this, you were
Yeah.
diagnosed with that,
Yes, sir, yeah.
multiple things, and you know, I think one of the points I made to you was, you know, you'd referenced it like, oh, I had, because of my, you know, X, my this and my that, and
Right.
I talked to so many people that have that.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to click with you even now, and I think that's some of the emotional fitness, the mental fitness that you're gaining is realizing when you say, you know, like, well, this is because of, and I'm not using anxiety from you particularly,
no worries.
but I have people say that all the time. Well, I can't do that because of my anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's like you're literally owning that. You're literally saying, this is my thing. This is who
Right,
I am. Versus, I've struggled with anxiety, but I'm not going to anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's that, to me, it's that simple, and I'm sure, you know, psychologists are going, this guy's a kook.
Yeah.
But fix it.
Right.
You know, I think Tate says, you know, blink and fix it. Like that it's that simple, you know? And so, you know, what do you think about that? You know, I know I brought it up to you a couple times on this trip.
I'm honestly like I'm on the same page in that case. I do, there are some things, like I think the medicine you had mentioned, like that is like the one thing that has bothered me that I let exist a little too long because I don't need it. I basically, like I told you, I had some crazy stomach problems, and that ended up like I thought I was having I thought that was going to be the end of my life. Like I literally remember being in so much pain, and then one day just like bursting out in tears. Like I don't cry. It's been like 15 years since I last cried before this point, and that led to like, okay, you know, I'm gonna fix my life. I saw a doctor, and the doctor kind of put me on like these different medications. One of them is an antidepressant that apparently also has an effect. And I'm not a depressed person. Like I'm very, very optimistic. But that was like a wake up call. But he put me on like this antidepressant that just so happens to help with stomach issues. And then he put me on another one that's like a muscle relaxer. And unfortunately, like I am dependent on that for like sleep. If I run out of it, it's like I'm not gonna sleep very well. And I have run out of it, and I've had terrible nights. So that's something I'm actively working on quitting.
Right.
But I 100% agree. It's like you I don't believe that like life happens to you. Like you're the director of your life. Like God's obviously the overarching director of everything. That's what I believe. But you cannot like. I think we talked about like I have some friends that kind of just accept that this life is the way it is, and then all of a sudden because of that, no further action is taken. Like that's where the action stops, and that like I've gone in yelling matches over that kind of mindset.
Right.
And you
I don't have to do this, God will provide.
Yeah. Like it's like it's this way because it's just that's just how it is. And then action stops, and then I have like put so much energy into trying to fix that mindset like for other people, but you just can't.
Well, I guess the point of me bringing that up is over time, and you're almost 100 days in.
Yes, sir.
Out of 100,000 in front of you, right? So you're still at the very beginning stages of this journey, and the further you dive deep into yourself, the further you're diving deep into your body, I think you'll start finding more and more cracks, more and more little things that have led to this point.
True, yeah.
And whether it's you or someone else, I was talking to a young man recently who was like, I take all this and I smoke all this and I do all this because I can't sleep.
Right.
It's like, what time do you get up? Noon. And then I do this and this, and then I go and I play video games till midnight, and then I can't sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, get up at freaking 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you'll be tired.
Go to the
time.
gym, work all day, go to the gym again, accomplish something.
Yeah.
And then you'll be tired. And you won't need those vices anymore.
Exactly.
Maybe day one it's hard, but that's okay. Like I feel like a good night's sleep is earned.
Yeah.
And you work hard in your business, in your career and all that. So, again, I'm getting off topic. This isn't specifically a Cody thing. This is my rant to the rest of the world is like a good night's sleep is earned. I sleep good 99% of the time. Yeah. That's because I leave nothing on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
And make sure 100% is accounted for.
Correct. And if you do that on a daily basis and you find your purpose, as soon as you get going, like this is what I'm accomplishing today, I'm going to accomplish more than I did yesterday, one way or the other. By the time it's bedtime, you sleep like a baby.
Yep.
And I think that that's a big part of the epidemic that we have of people can't sleep, can't do this, can't do that, because frankly, they haven't earned it.
Yeah.
And so your brain's laying there going, we're done?
Yeah.
I'm not done. We still have so much more to accomplish, you know? So it's just spinning.
It's the same way too. Like I'm always so tired and I need caffeine, but you're creating the problem because you're drinking so much caffeine. I'm speaking to myself on that one. Like I'm working on like kicking the caffeine, but I mean, I say all this, humbly because I love caffeine too. Yeah. I like my pre-workouts. I like, whatever it takes, not even whatever it takes, but however I get through that process. But again, I do the reps, I accomplish the things, and then my body knows when it's done, it's time to go to sleep, so I get to rest. So 100 days in, who are you going to be 365 days in? Yeah. And you're going to be a different version of yourself, for sure. How is the brand, because you've created a brand. Yes, sir, yeah.
How is that brand going to evolve with you? And what do you see it evolving to become?
Yeah, I like, this is something I'm wrestling with because obviously anybody that's in my position wants to monetize. Like let's just be real. You get a following. If it's taking up a lot of time, you want to figure out the next steps to actually like letting it be a funnel to provide for your family as well. So I've been thinking about this, and everybody's just telling me like brand deals. You want to do brand deals, but I don't believe like the whole idea of working with other brands. Even if I believe in the product, like I feel like it's costing my following something to advertise over and over again. Some of the stuff like I'll make exceptions, like really good protein, really good creatine, like that stuff I believe in, and I believe that if my follower did want to buy it, that's great. But for my personal brand, I decided like I'm going to avoid like all these offers, and I want to build something that actually brings value to my following. So I'm going to be starting a podcast called the Father Protocol, where I interview dads who are ahead of me. And it's going to be again like same as my personal brand. Like it's going to be a humbling thing. Hey, would you willing to come down and just talk to me about what can you pour into me and my following? Because there's a lot of dads who are on the same page that I'm at, of people who are going to be dads who are on the same page that I'm at. So I definitely see that evolving. And then I want to actually create I feel like I'm not finding a lot of like gym wear and like rash guards that are also like, targeted toward dads who want to become hard to kill. I want to be able to wear that too. So those are really the only plans I have for the personal brand, but also 365 days from now, I think the idea, back to Atomic Habits, of getting just 1% better every day ends up being like 3 times better at the end of the year, or 3.65 times better. So I definitely am excited to see it, because right now it's already happening before my very eyes. Like, my body is bigger than it's ever been. My shoulders are bigger than they've ever been. My chest is bigger than it's ever been. So it's crazy to think about, like will I actually have the chest that I you look at another guy and you're like, dang, that guy could probably bench 280. Will I have that kind of a change? I don't know. I'm just going to keep on doing it and giving it my best. I do think I will be unrecognizable, but because of it being unrecognizable, I can't really fabricate it in my head. So I'm just going to let it kind of like scale. Just give it my all every day. So.
And I will say on the branding stuff, I'm talking to the audience now. Cody's very aware of that and does not, he's brought it up many times in the few days he's been here, does not want to cheapen what he's doing. Yeah. It wasn't do this for money. It was do this because he believes in it. Do this because what better way to hold yourself accountable than put yourself out there for the world to see. And who wouldn't? If companies, brands, I introduce you to some people that might be interested in working with you on this. If that becomes a thing, why not? You know, that will just help you. Frankly, if it just helps you further your message.
I also want to grow as a business leader. So it's like what cool way to do it than to create a product that I love and that I wear. I don't care if anybody buys it. Well, I just want to be on the other side of a business and make those decisions and make the mistakes and all that. So obviously I'm thinking like what kind of business can I start that would also support the brand? So lots of cool ideas. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure. So you touched on, we kind of talked about your audience a little bit, your followers and all that. Who is that? And I know it's everybody. You got 50-year-old somewhat successful business guys who are way ahead of you, who found interest in that and was like, I'm going to follow this guy and support him any way I can. I'm sure there's a lot of young people, but like, do you know, I mean, in your DMs or in your comments and stuff, or who do you think is really your following, and what do you hope that they get from watching your journey? Yeah.
Well, I'll do this. I'm going to actually, because I was thinking about this earlier, I'm going to pull up my actual demographics.
Please do. Let's do that.
Because Instagram's pretty cool. Because my guess is I'm going to guess like 18 to 30 is like my average, like the majority. So let's see, because
one 50-year-old from California.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's you, right. So right. So yeah, you can see it right here. So 44%. So this is approaching half of it is 25 to 34-year-old. Let's see. It actually also tells me 96% men. So we got 96% men. For almost half of them are 25 to 34. The next highest category is 18 to 24. So we're looking at 18 to 34. Those make up a majority, almost 80%. So
to be clear, that's the exact audience.
Like we're looking at.
I don't want to say after in the sense of after, but that's the exact audience that aligns with us as well.
Really? Yeah.
And because that's the underserved audience. That's the guys that need it. Yeah. They need what I have to say. They need what you have to say, because not a lot of people are out there saying it, at least in an eloquent way.
Right.
So what do you say to them? Like, because now, oddly enough, now that I start following your stuff, I get a bunch of other people on similar journeys. But most of them that I've seen so far fall off pretty quick.
Right.
Because the reality is, whether you're sized, or oversized, right? Like a lot of other people are in that situation. Yeah. You got there by thousands of micro bad decisions.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So if someone's motivated. Maybe if someone sees your thing and they're like, I'm motivated, I'm going to go do something just like him.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's happened.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
But then the discipline needs to fill the gap when the motivation.
I have like live seen people DM me. I've seen them comment saying, hey, I'm going to start the same thing. I've seen them start it. I've seen some of them get, like, they pass the 10,000 mark. I think it's like a weird dichotomy, like where I think when they get to the point of the 10,000 mark and they realize you're not a millionaire because you get 10,000 followers. A lot of them they're very motivated by the numbers. They're begging for followers. They're begging for sponsorships. Or I think it becomes a thing of like, did you start because you want the following, or did you start because you truly want to fix your life? So back to your original, like the question you asked about, like, what do I say? I imagine, so when I think of 18 to 24, like to me, that's either new dads or people who are going to be dads, and that they're following the journey because they agree with that. I would say like we talked about earlier, make your mistakes now. Like make the mistakes, like do the crazy things. I'm telling you that everybody around me thought I was delusional. I messaged like some friends saying, hey, I'm going to be delusional. I'm going to do this. Like there's like maybe 1 or 2 friends that I told, like make the mistakes now. Like that's just for general life. But I do believe that if you're about to be a dad, definitely take control of this. You probably definitely relate to the video games. I bet. I wonder, I'm actually curious the percentage of men that are 18 to 24 in the United States, we'll just narrow it down there, have played video games. Like it's probably
played excessively.
Even excessively. Yeah.
I bet
it's north of 95%.
I agree with you 100%.
Because it's just such a thing. So,
and to the point we were making earlier, like as using myself as an example, I bet I have 20 hours of video games in my life.
Yeah.
I have life
100 days on one game.
Yeah.
And so that
Right.
shows you the dichotomy there. And I mean, like your son's a great example. Like he realized he would fall within the 18 to 24. He's about to get married, and so it's like he's in that part of that life, and he described it very well. It's like I have no room for this. I have things I need to achieve. He goes to the gym. I think he actively trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's ruthlessly pursuing these things. I think as a man, that's what we're called to do, is like ruthlessly pursue everything. So yeah, 18, 24-year-olds, like just do it. Become hard to kill. Like if you could start earlier than I can, wow. Like by the time you're 26, like you're gonna look like this guy. So yeah, that'll be awesome. Now if
I
you're
hope not, because I'm 50, but
minus the gray hairs. Minus the gray hairs. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. 25 to 34, I imagine this is either people that are also waking up, and maybe they're a little bit later to the game. Like maybe they're not hard to kill, or they're hard to kill in some ways, but not others. They like discipline. Like I said, even my own dad was a big gamer, and he had to kind of like knock back on that a little bit. So let
me jump on that one real quick.
Yeah. I'm about to say that maybe you should talk to these guys.
Well, I want to ask that, but I will talk to those guys as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, how important? I don't own masculinity, right? But I live it and I breathe it and I believe in it. And how. Not to say that your dad wasn't masculine, because he was your father, but he still led you. Like when you were a little kid and you saw what's dad doing. Yeah. You think if you just said, what's dad doing after his job or between work or whatever, and he was at the gym, he was at the range, he was on the mat, he was doing all that versus being on a video game. Do you think that would have inspired you to go a different path?
I think so. It's kind of hit or miss, because like at that time of my life, that's like where the video games started. So all my friends played video games, and that's how we like stayed in touch. But also my dad played video games, so I'd play with him a lot. But I imagine if he were going to the range, if he were running a business, if he were rolling in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, going to the gym, I think I would have started to go with him, and it eventually would have turned into a solid discipline. I think I would have learned earlier. I would have compared what I was getting out of that to what I was getting out of video games, and I think I would have chose what I liked. Like because I think if I got muscular in high school, my high school would have been a lot more different.
Correct.
Like that's just how it is. So yeah, I think I would have gone the harder route.
Right. Yeah. And to that point, dads out there that have those middle school, high school age sons who are battling this, who are kind of becoming outcasts almost of I don't want to say society, but the social circles within high school, because high school is very superficial. It's very pretentious. It's very, and it can be tough on it can be tough on fit, athletic, guys. Yep. But when you don't even try to be that, and not to fit in, but that's the time in your life when, if you take it to the primitive levels, that's when you're a buck and you're just walking around challenging the big bucks to see who's boss, and you kind of learn what you're made of. When you never get to find that out, you just accept the fact that you're not competent, you're not capable, and you might as well pretend that you are in some game.
Yeah.
Right. And that just steals so much from young men in that situation. But yeah, dads, don't let your sons do that stuff. And it's not a matter of coming in. However, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Don't be like, don't do that, even though you got a PS5 and 47 games in the console in your house. I don't even own one.
Yeah.
Right. And because there's other things to do. Yeah. There's never a time. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have downtime. I just fill my downtime with going to the gym, jump in the sauna, cold plunge, shooting, reading, whatever. There's other things to replace that downtime with. But to that age group too is like, if you're, there's no excuse, guys. There is. We all have a reason for the things that we do.
Right.
But you also have every resource in the absolute universe in your hand. And, a couple generations ago, people had to get up and go to the library and find a book and order it and figure it out. Everything you need is in your phone.
Right.
So, but you have to seek out the hard thing. Yeah. You have to do, if you see what everybody else is doing, do the opposite and watch what happens.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I've ever received or given is, if they're doing it, I don't care who they are, do something else and watch the difference, or expect to end up exactly where they are.
Yeah. I do think too, like talking about, we talked earlier about how my confidence has increased. Say like we were in a world where my dad did do those things and I decided to join him. I think of so many times where like even in high school where like I saw like bullying going on and I had no confidence to like interfere. Right. You know what I mean? Like I might have like verbally like say, hey, that's not cool. But if it escalated beyond that, like think about how it could change someone else's life. And then like you become friends with that person and then they become like it's just like it's a hard path, but it's like contagious and it could be such a good thing too. So
no, and I hope you're one of many that are leading the charge for that reset of masculinity in your age group, because it is contagious. Yeah. And just like weakness is contagious, just like seeking comfort is contagious. Right. Seeking hard stuff, becoming hard to kill, to your coined phrase,
yes, sir,
is also contagious. Yeah. If there's a version of you watching this right now who's like, that's me. Well, guess what? Cody is exactly like you and has done just for the last 100 days did what you did. Yeah. So in 100 days from now, you can be where Cody is right now. It's that simple.
Just start. Yeah.
Or in 100 days from now, you'll be just like you are now, but 100 days worse. Yeah. Life is math. Yep. Everything compounds. So let's, as we start wrapping this up, which having a great time, but getting towards the end of this.
No worries.
You have tons of followers, millions of views. You're getting flown around the country. You got, sponsors want to do stuff. You're getting to broaden your circle. You said your little town, there's not a lot of options. However, you now have friends in multiple states. Yes, sir, people that you can call, myself included, whatever. Hopefully we stay in touch and help hold you accountable, hold me accountable, whatever. That's a super smart way of handling it. And I'm sure you understand that all these people that you're meeting, stay in touch with them and keep those resources, because a week from now, a month from now, there's gonna be a day when you don't want to get up. Right. There's gonna be a day when you want to quit and you don't want to do this and those things. So stay on that track. But as far as all those followers on social media, I would assume, knowing you for the few days that I've known you, the most important 3 followers that you have are the ones that live in your house.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Your wife and your son and your daughter, correct? So what do you hope they get from this? Yeah. And separately, I'd like you to address each of them individually, because I think that each of them are going to have a different perspective. Your wife, I would hope that, you're going to have a certain desire of how she sees you. Your daughter, it's very important that she sees you a certain way. And of course, your son. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good question. For my son, I hope that, like we talked about, that I end up being that example, and that because I held him to it. Like I really admire like how your son is. Like I feel like me talking about how I want my son to come out is exactly what Jake is like. Like I think that's like he wakes up early. You said he wakes up early with you. He reads in the morning and he's always working hard. He doesn't game. I not to compare, but I think that is a result of just of holding those disciplines like at the core of your family. And so I hope that because of the decisions I'm making today, and then I'm going to continue to make throughout the rest of my life, I hope that my son obviously picks these up, but then learns from my scars, like avoids the things that I've gotten into. Granted, I didn't really get into drugs or like any of that, but like is able to recognize the fake dopamine and then be a real man, like actually realize what masculinity is as young as possible. Like whatever age is the minimum. Like I hope that I'm able to help achieve. I'm hope that I'm able to help him define that early and then maintain that. Like we talked about, if my dad were to do different things, I think I would have followed suit. So I hope to achieve that. For my daughter, I hope this journey, like we talked about earlier, defines what a real man is, and helps you avoid anything outside of that boundary. My mom like had a phase where she just had like all sorts of dudes over, and I got to see so many different versions of these are grown men, but I've seen men that are immature, emotionally unintelligent, like physically abusive outside, like physically abusive because of their emotional unintelligence. So I hope that I help create the definition of what a man is, and that you don't settle for anything less. I believe that there will be a man out there, like especially if the generation is starting to wake up to exactly how bad we are. So,
well, and there will be, and I don't want to interrupt because I think you just said some amazing things.
Sure, yeah.
But in particular with your daughter, I also have a daughter, as you know, and when you set that example, she knows what to do with it. Right? I'm not chasing guys off my property. There's not guys sneaking in my house when she was in high school. There's not. She sets her own boundaries.
Yes, sir.
And she's going to hold every young man that comes along up to you.
Yeah.
And your job is to make sure that nobody can fill your shoes.
Yeah.
Until someday someone actually can. And that's so profound and so mature for you, as a young father to acknowledge that, like how important that is.
Yeah.
Yes, your son, absolutely. You want him to be capable and competent, and the world is his oyster if you do that young.
Yeah.
Your daughter to look for that version of a man for herself.
Yeah.
And to be able to use you as an example of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird to think about because it's so early, but it is something I think about a lot. So, I'm excited to see it, specifically for my son. Like it's like I started when I was 26. Imagine if he was just brought up and that's his roots. Like what kind of man would he become? It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing, and it goes by fast. And there will be a day when you're sitting on your back porch, smoking a cigar because you'll be a professional cigar smoker by then.
Maybe a nicotine-free one. Smoking nicotine-free cigar.
and you'll remember the day you made the decision.
Yeah,
and be able to enjoy watching the fruits of that rather than figure out how you're gonna fix them.
Right.
I think there's a book that says it's easier to raise a boy than to fix a man.
Yeah.
And you're on the right track for that now.
Yeah.
So for the last answer for your wife, I'd say look at the camera.
Yeah. So and it's kind of like what do you want to say to your wife?
Yeah. Of what she hopes that she sees in you.
Yeah.
With what you're doing.
It's kind of hard because I do have to own up that despite, like we talked about earlier, when you become a dad, you become a leader. Whether or not you were a leader in any other space in your life before, as soon as you become a father, even a husband, you are a leader right then and there. But if you don't approach life as a leader, I think you're already failing. And I was not approaching life as a leader. I like the life was happening to me. So now I hope that I'm being a much better leader. Like obviously things are changing in our lives, in a lot of good ways. A lot of hard ways, but a lot of good ways. Things are getting harder, but at the end of the day, I think we're all growing from this, and I hope that I continue. It's kind of hard to like fabricate in my brain, you know. So it's like I hope I continue to grow, and then I hope to continue to be the best husband and the best father that I can be, and I hope that if you see me veer off, you better slap the back of my head like immediately. Like your wife, you said your wife will get on to you. So
for sure.
So thank you for the accountability, like even this early into the journey and everything. So yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we could add anything to this that we haven't just now, and ending it like that I think is really important, because all that stuff's important. All the exposure and likes and follows and all that cool stuff that you're getting to experience right now is great. But when all the dust settles, you're still Cody.
Yes, sir.
You're still have a wife that you love and 2 kids that you love, and that's what really this whole thing is about.
Yep.
So it's been great to have you on the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Had a great time.
What a
having
week.
you here.
It was not an easy week. My body hurts. Like we talked about the soreness. So thank you for making. This makes me want all of my any trip I go on. I wanted to feel like this.
For sure,
because it's just part of the brand.
It is.
It's got to suck.
It is, and you did a great job. You were a great spirit. It was.
You did not see me in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, yeah, your son, he made a fool out of me.
That's all right.
No,
you'll come back in a year and tap him out.
Exactly.
Let's make that the goal.
That's like my whole thing. It's like I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go against Jarvis in the boxing. We're gonna be lifting heavier weights.
Put it on the schedule, Javier. A year from now, we're gonna do this again,
sir,
for sure, and get an update. And it's gonna be great. So, thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.